Welcome to the post-week analysis. This is going to go over mistakes that we made throughout the week. This is also going to go over things that we did see and that did play out the way that we saw it. And this is just going to be a recap from the previous moves throughout this week that you can go look at the videos that we had and see what we actually saw going on. So we'll start out with the mistakes. Mistakes that we should have seen starting out this week. If you see this dotted line right here, this is the beginning of the week, and it was already at a low point. It was already at a support level, a strong support that had already been used twice or three times already. So we should have known from that moment there, starting out, that it is at a support level. So what is it going to do at a support level? It's either going to break through, like we said on some of our analysis, and we drew out this 4 hour target retest point for that purpose, as a target if it did break through, or it's going to bounce back up. One thing that I did this week that I didn't really see was that, and it is very obvious now, was that there was a resistance over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's literally at this level, it's a strong point where liquidity gets gathered, buyers hop out of the market and sellers hop into the market, and it holds the chart down at many levels. And if you look at it from this point where the week started, that is literally where the chart targeted to start the week. So instead of it being such a bullish push, from what I saw being the overall move, it literally targeted that resistance point and then bounced right back down to the support point. Now, from that level, what we did do good, that was my biggest mistake for this week, was not realizing that resistance. But besides that, from that level, what we did do good was understanding that there is a downtrend being formed and drawing out this trend line midweek. So this trend line, we did not see this trend line at the beginning of the week because it hadn't been formed yet. Like I said, the market's opened here. So then it used this one time, used it another time as a resistance. And then PPI came out on Tuesday. So this was Tuesday right here at I think 8 a.m. And then it also held down there and pushed right back down to the support level. So once we saw that, that was definitely a good indicator that we are within a range, and then it literally bounced back down to support, came back up, tapped this level, and then kept using this support and respecting it. Even when it did break down to these levels, as you can see right here, and I'll mark this out just temporarily, right here at these very lows of this move. So I drew the low that started the uptrend move, or the big push up, but at the very lows of that move, the lowest lows of that move, you can see that is exactly where this point targeted right there. Also, not only did it target it there, but it also targeted that here too, on this level. So we'll actually hide that now, and you'll see that that's where that targeted. So that we had the downtrend move, we had the supports drawn out. At the beginning of the week, pushed right up to that resistance point, which is what I didn't see, should have saw. And I think I did have a target for that level, but I had it more as a target and not understanding that this is a resistance level. That was my big mistake. So obviously we learn and we keep growing. It's a whole part of trading. But once we got to this level right here, I did understand that, okay, it's at a support and it's being pinched together. And my whole bias was, if it breaks down below the support and below some of these lows here, that it's going to start targeting the 4 hour, or if it breaks above this level, then it's going to retest and then start to push up towards, once I kind of saw that resistance, push up towards this resistance, and then push up towards this imbalance gap up here. So the only time it's really going to push up towards this imbalance gap is when it breaks through this resistance. And once it breaks through this resistance, we're going to want to see that it retests that resistance, and then it's going to break up into these higher levels. So, but as a week closed, so we saw this thing push out of that trend line that had been respected 4 times, and then it pushed right back into that zone. And what did it do? It literally respected this level. It respected that support level again, like literally to the T. Respected that level and then pushed right back out of that trend line. So for me, in my system that I follow, that is showing that this is definitely a becoming more of a bullish chart. Now overall, what I was seeing on the 4-hour is yeah, this is definitely starting to create a shoulder head shoulder. It's creating lower lows and lower highs. Even right here, that's a lower low from this level, and then that is a lower high. And then to end the week, it did end on 2 bearish candles. So for me, on the higher time frame, that is kind of looking a little sketchy, but we are still in the 50 and the 200 EMA. So that is a good sign for us to continue going into this uptrend. Plus it did respect this support level many times. The only time I'm going to really switch my bias to becoming more bearish is when I see it break that structure, break this support level that it's been at, and break below down to these target points. And even that would just be a deep retest for me in that aspect. So like I said, we broke out, retested back down, tested this support level, broke right back out of that trend line. It danced around for a little bit, and then to close the week, it broke right back down and did a very deep retest of that trend line once again. So this retest literally tested the trend line once again. It also respected the support again, and it like we just had, it retested the lowest lows of this move that happened. So if you see that right here, it literally retested this low point, this low close, to then start this uptrend to the highest high. So for us, this thing the structure is playing perfectly, honestly, right now. The only thing that was abnormal this week was this PPI move, which it went straight into correction right down to the support. That was the only thing where a lot of volatility happened. Besides that, it respected the support many times. It respected the resistance at this level that I didn't see initially. It even respected the trend line break and then respected the support one more time, came out, and then we got the real retest. So coming into this next week, what I would be looking for is, okay, we've already broken out of this trend line. We already respected these supports. It's literally just a continuation of what we've been seeing. So to summarize everything that we've seen, we respected this resistance. We respected the support many times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. We respected the lowest lows at this level and at this level. We've already got a retest of the trend line. It even broke into the trend line once more, retested this support again, broke back out of the trend line, created a higher high, and it created a higher low, and then retested the trend line once again and created another higher low. So for me, what I'm seeing with my strategy and what I do is I want to see, is this going to keep breaking down to the low side, and is it going to break this support level, or is this going to break right up into a higher high? Since it's already created a higher low, higher high, higher low, it consolidated for a second and then created a higher low once again to end the week. And are we going to create another higher high to then push to a higher level? I was thinking, I would like to see that happen throughout to end the week. But usually when the week ends, it likes to close in a certain type of way to allow buyers and sellers to get their positions. So at this level, this is going to be a better level than if it ended up here, because if it ended up here, then buyers are already going to be in here and they're going to have to do a deep correction. So thinking about how the banks move, where's all the money at? All the money is here. They have sellers trapped here. They have buyers trapped here. So what are they going to do before they really push this chart up? They're going to do a deep retest before it goes up. Or before it goes down, they're going to do a push up to then push it down and trap buyers. As of right now, they already got the buyers at this point. They did a deep retest here. So sellers are right here. The next thing they're going to really need to target in order to have this thing go down anymore realistically is take these sellers out. And then right here also they're gonna trap sellers here. So sellers are gonna be in this level too, thinking that the chart's going down, especially if they do a fake out, and they're gonna trap sellers here before they push this market up. So a lot of the banks have been buying at this level. This is at a discount right now. So before this market really does push up anymore, this is the time to buy. Or if it dives any deeper, this is gonna be the time to buy. Now, like I said, if we start really seeing this chart break this support level, break these lowest lows, then at that point right there is when we say, okay, let me reorganize and reanalyze what's actually happening. Is this just it testing the level, like I said, trying to collect buyers and sellers and more liquidity, or is this actually creating a new structure to the downside? But as of right now, I mean, the chart is playing perfectly. Everything looks very good. As long as you execute well and you practice good risk management, I mean, you're going to be golden. Honestly, you're going to be golden. Now, we are below the 50 and the 200 EMAs, but realistically, right now, I'm really not even looking at the EMAs. Like, I could take the EMAs off the chart and it'd still look perfectly clear to me. And honestly, I probably should for you all. Just for the normal eye. I'm really not even looking at the EMAs right now. I'm following exactly what's happening, which is market structure and price action and liquidity. Where's the money at? Right now, the money is right here in this level at 0.66750, and the money is at 0.67150, or you could say 0.67200. So right at this level. And right at this level is where all the money's at. In between here is where you don't want to be caught. You don't want to be caught in the middle. You either want to get in at the top for a sell or get in at the bottom for a buy. So right now is the best time to buy with how the market has been moving for literally since December 23rd. So this is the post-week analysis. Hopefully all that made sense. I went through the mistakes we made, which is not seeing this resistance sooner, because if I would have saw that at the beginning of the week, I definitely would have been able to catch that and understand that this is a spot where a lot of sellers come in, and literally that's what it did. PPI, I mean, that's just a lot of volatility. It was good for the U.S. dollar, so that is why the price did push down. And then understanding that the support was here and that we started to see a trend line forming and it pinching, that we did play that well. Now, I think this week, overall, what this week was, it was a setup week. This wasn't a week for big moves or any rallies. This week was a setup week for the next few weeks to come in and start actually capitalizing. So we are in the mid-month. This is something else, if you follow along, I will eventually talk about, is understanding where you are in the days, like what time of the day is it, when is the volatility going to be the most, understanding where you are in the week. So you've already heard me kind of talk about how Fridays like to close and how Sundays open and midweek, and then understanding where you are in the months. So understanding that, when the month first opens, it's either going to do a bigger jump or it's going to be a little bit less volatile. So realistically, me personally, how I trade, I don't like to usually trade at the beginning of the months, me personally, and at the end of the months, because it's opening, you're getting a new monthly candle that's opening, and then you're at the end of the month, you're getting a monthly candle that's closing. So it's doing abnormal price actions at that moment. Realistically, the sweet spot is going to be this next week, which is the middle of the month. So all of these weeks, usually the beginning of the month, end of the month, that's a setup period. That's how I see it in my mind as a trader that's been trading for 5 years. That's a setup period for me to hit that sweet spot in the middle of the month. So like I said, last week was a setup week, and it set up perfectly. Now it's at a spot where, me personally, my bias right now is still buy. It broke out of that trend line, retested, used that support, and then it really did a deeper retest of that trend line, did a retest of the lowest lows over here, and now it's right here at this level. It's still respecting this trend line. It's this support level, and it's above the trend line. So we're golden right now, y'all. I'm honestly excited for next week. I'm excited to keep following this chart with you all throughout the year. We're gonna have mistakes. That's just a part of it. That's a part of trading. We're learning. We're still learning. We're growing. I've been in it for 5 years, and I'm still getting better every day. That is just a part of it. But the main thing is learning from your mistakes. With proper risk management, even if you have mistakes, you're still not gonna be losing too much money or blowing your accounts. That is key. Proper risk management and staying disciplined and consistent. Follow your trade plans. If you don't have one, create one. And honestly, I will have a trade plan out soon. My trade plan for 5 years that I will be releasing. I already have it made, and I'm just setting up my literal whole academy. But I will have one out that you all can also follow along with. Just subscribe, and we're gonna literally follow this chart. And the thing about this chart is too, another thing I wanted to say is you don't have to trade AUD USD. This is just a chart that I started out trading. This is a pair that I started out trading, and I love how it moves, as you can see. But the skills that you're watching me use is universal. You can use this on crypto. You can use this on stocks, indexes. You can use this on any other pair. So like I've traded GBP JPY, AUD JPY. I've traded gold. I've traded XRP. Like I've traded a lot of things using the same skills that I'm showing you all. So don't think, oh, he trades AUD, I can't use his skill set, I can't follow him. That's not true. The skill set that I'm using, it's universal. This is literally reading a chart. Like that alone is the skill. It's not just being good at trading AUD USD. It's the skill set that I'm using. And that's why I would recommend you all to follow me. Because as you can see, I mess up too. I'm not perfect. I'm human. Same way as all of you are. I'm a day trader that's literally on his way up to becoming the best version of himself. And I genuinely don't ever think I'm going to reach that because I'm always going to be getting better. Every day I'm getting better. You know what I mean? And that should be all of our goals as traders, as people that are just living life. Every single day, it's you versus you. It's you versus the man in the mirror. Some days you might not have the best days, and some days you're gonna have better days. But the whole key is staying consistent. So we're gonna follow this chart next week. I'm gonna come out with the same stuff. I'm gonna have a pre-week analysis. I'm gonna have a beginning of the week market setup moves to really have our trade plan together. We're gonna have a midweek update. So maybe have an update for that, but then we'll have our post-week analysis. So every week I will for sure be having 4 videos out. The post-week analysis, which is this, the pre-week analysis, which will come out Sundays or Mondays, and then the beginning of the week trade plan, and then the midweek update. Those are four videos you will see out. I'll have them as YouTube videos for sure, and then I'll create shorts from them to just show you all exactly what's going on. So if you like this video, you liked what I've been talking about, follow along, and we're literally going to keep growing. That is the whole key. Keep growing. So let's go, y'all. Post week, successful. Had a good week. Next week, gonna have a better week. Let's get it.